Hey everybody, today I'm talking about Wavelength. Now, Wavelength was a hugely successful Kickstarter campaign in 2019. It's by very innovative designer Wolfgang Warsch, and this one might just be his most innovative game yet. So he's known for games such as The Mind, or The Quacks of Quedlinburg, and Illusion, The Taverns of Tiefenthal. So he really has come onto the scene with a huge bang. But this one is his most partyish game. It's can play from 2 up to, I guess, as many players as you want. You can play it cooperatively or you can play it in teams. So the idea of the game is that someone is going to be a clue giver, and they're going to get basically 2 kind of like binaries. So something might say hot and cold, or a good movie or a bad movie, or kind of an overrated, something overrated or something underrated. So 2 complete polar opposite things. And you're going to have this really cool kind of contraption, which you're going to spin, and there is going to be somewhere on this kind of wheel where this kind of hotspot is. So in the middle, there's going to be like a cone that says 4, and then 3, and then 2, and then 1. So you're going to try and get your teammates to guess dead on the 4, and you're going to do that by providing a clue somewhere on that spectrum of those binaries. So say, for example, you might have good and evil, and then somewhere you're going to give that wheel a spin, and then you're going to have the cone somewhere on that wheel between good and evil, and you're going to have to give a clue to your teammates to decide where on that cone they should blindly guess. So for example, on the goodest of good scale, you might put, I don't know, maybe like a newborn puppy or something, and on the most evil scale, you put, I don't know, the devil or something. But the problem with this game is that the place on the spectrum might just be anywhere in between that. So you're going to have to be as nuanced as you can, and then when you give your clue, so that the team can discuss amongst themselves where they think on that spectrum they think you're trying to point to. And that's basically the premise of the game. You just got to do that, trying to get as accurately as you can, trying to get that 4 every time. The game really does shine through in its terms, by its kind of negotiation and just chatting about what they think the clue giver means, because obviously they've got to be silent once they give their clue. They can't give any kind of signals or anything about where it's going to be. And that's where the fun lies, is basically thinking of something innovative and something as precise as possible, just to most accurately pinpoint where on the spectrum you're trying to make your team guess. And there is a lot of fun to be had. You've got to try and think out the box. Use your kind of huge kind of catalogue of references. As I said, it's kind of interesting how players think differently of different things. So you've got to try and get into the mind of your kind of teammates when you are giving the clue, or try to think how your clue giver is thinking. There has this kind of cool team versus team aspect to it, where once one team guesses the answer, and the other team can guess where, if they think it's higher or lower on a spectrum, just to keep the players engaged, maybe get a bonus point that way. There's lots of different things you can think about. Sometimes you can kind of feel a bit strapped for what clue you're going to give, because it's not the easiest of things to do. But the cards are double-sided, so you can maybe think of, if you're stuck on one side, you can flip it over and give a clue for the other side. There's a huge array of cards, so you're not going to kind of get bored of the same cards coming out. But even if they do, you're never going to be exactly on the same spot on the spectrum, so you're going to have to think differently than before. It really is a party game. It's not really going to be completely about the scoring. You're going to be kind of lost in the negotiation of it and just get caught up in the fun of it. Mechanically, so simple, but so innovative at the same time. There's not really been anything like this. And always kind of Wolfgang Warsch's innovativeness and fresh ideas are always so kind of, refreshing. And he does bring kind of new ideas to the table. The engagement in the game is really good. There has a good kind of uptime and flow to it. I mean, sometimes the game can come to a standstill if the clue giver is a bit strapped for ideas, but it's not big of a deal. It has that kind of partyish feel to it anyway. So, you're going to have that kind of relaxed feel, just chat amongst yourselves while the clue giver thinks about what they're going to do. But yeah, it's a really nice, light-hearted game that anybody can play. It has like real kind of addictive quality to it, where when it's your go, you want to just try and be as precise as possible. And ultimately, when someone does guess exactly where you want them to be, it is so satisfying. And yeah, it's just a really rewarding game when it pays off. Replayability-wise, there's loads of cards in there, as I said. You can introduce this to whole different groups. It's almost a great kind of team-building exercise as well. And something you can really get for kind of Christmas or any kind of party scenario. I think when you introduce this to players, they're going to really kind of be quite taken off guard about how innovative this game is and about how different it is. The contraption itself is fantastic. It's really robust, made of high quality kind of plastic. It has everything works as it should. The rotating wheel, the kind of revealing kind of disc. The little notch that you use to choose where you're going to guess. Yeah, very well put together, very well constructed, and just made of the highest kind of quality. Interaction is fantastic in terms of its negotiation and stuff. Very good. You can really lose yourself in this one. Aesthetically, I think the wheel looks really cool. Other than that, I guess the cards are pretty basic, but nice and colourful, and it just works really well. Nice and visual game, very tactile. And yeah, that's it really. I mean, in terms of party games, this one is a fantastic one. I love my party games, and this one probably was probably my favourite of 2019, to be honest. I think I made my 2019 my best 2019 list before this one come out, but this one would no doubt be in my top 10. I really am happy with it. It kind of has that timeless quality to it. It's going to stick around on my shelves, and I'm going to always look forward to introducing this to new players because it's so much fun. And again, I think it's going to really, I think anybody can enjoy it, and it's going to take people by storm. So highly recommend this one. That's Wavelength. It is a fantastic party game, something very different, and it gets a very good rating from me. Yeah. Go check this one out if you like your party games. It will not let you down. So that is Wavelength by Wolfgang Warsch. I hope you've enjoyed this review. If you have, please hit like and subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos too. For everyone else, I'll see you next time on Chairman of the Board. Bye.